Hello and welcome to this E-Tuk webinar for the investor crowd. We've received quite a few questions from you all, and we'll try to address these in this webinar. My name is Jeroen Bulk, and I'm one of the directors of the E-Tuk Factory. I would like to give you a quick overview of where we stand before I hand over to my colleagues who can answer a number of different questions that you all had. So, I've basically written down what E-Tuk is all about. We develop, manufacture, and sell electric three-wheelers. They're electric tuk-tuks, or we call them E-Tuks. We operate in worldwide markets for leisure, last-mile delivery, and public transport. Every vehicle that we have saves about 3.5 tons of CO2, and without any air or noise pollution like fuel-based vehicles. This is especially important because in large, densely populated Asian cities where our electric transport vehicles will help improve the living conditions and also provide employment to local people in the assembly and service locations. We have a particular clever concept, which is a platform-based technology, which is modular. That means that we can change the functionality of every E-Tuk according to the wishes of the market, while keeping the same basis design. That means, for instance, we can turn it into a vendo for smart sales or for street sales, and for festivals, we can turn it into a GT limo for city tours for tourists, and we can also turn it into a public transport taxi for 8 to 10 people. We have developed a proprietary smart box which combines the battery with the battery management system and the vehicle information system, which allows us to monitor both the battery and the vehicle performance. This is really a high-level overview, and we'll get to each of these topics a bit later in the webinar, where everyone of our company will start introducing themselves and also the topics that are at hand. One of the main questions was, what do you now already sell? Because there's a lot of Invesdor crowd who are not from the southern regions of Europe and have not seen a tuk operating live in their area. And that's also because of the fact that we sell most of them in the southern part of Europe and in the US. So we sell our tuks into Canada, the United States, most European countries, at least in the southern part. And so that's Greece, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Croatia, France. That's where you see most of our E-Tuks driving around. Year to date, we've sold already 200 vehicles and booked about 3.7 million in revenue. So that's what we do at this moment. Now, the plan to increase our volumes is lying in a number of Asian countries. We're talking about Cambodia, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Singapore, those countries where there's a lot of demand for our vehicles. We are there in the LOI stage with a number of large governments to produce electric taxi buses, which replace the fuel-based taxis that are now driving around in those cities. And we will start up local assembly and service points in those countries. So that was where do we currently sell. This is what we currently sell. Yeah, you see here a picture of what we call a vendo. This is a basic E-Tuk which has been converted into a selling point. So this is particularly for Coca-Cola, but you can also have snacks or espresso bars or whatever you want mounted on top of the base of the vehicle. This is the most well-known vehicle, which is the one which is used for the city tours in the southern countries in Europe at the moment. And this is also based on the same platform, but it's with a cargo box, so it's for the delivery of goods. That's what we currently sell. And what we basically sell is not a vehicle, but we sell a business case. The end user is able to make about 250,000 euro per year when he buys an E-Tuk and he does tours or food sales all year long. So that is a massive opportunity for the end user. We're going to be expanding to this model here. This has been developed and we're now selling that into the market. This is the L2 last mile delivery vehicle. And the very recent model that we added was this public transport vehicle, which can transport up to 12 people in the largely densely populated Asian cities. So for the L2, we already have 150 orders in hand with a value of 1.6 million. And for these public transport vehicles, we're signing LOIs with numbers in there that add up to about 3,800 vehicles per year. So why are we raising money through Invesdor? Well, of course, this growth, particularly in the L2 market and the public transport market, requires working capital. You'll need to invest in accounts receivable and in stock inventory to be able to deliver that amount of vehicles. And we are growing from approximately 300 E-Tuks per year to potentially 300 E-Tuks per month in 2028. So this current crowdfunding campaign should make this growth possible. What we also saw is a lot of questions about part of the proceeds going to redeem the loan with the Rabobank. And this is really for the benefit of the investor crowd, because the loan that we have with the Rabobank is secured by pledges on the assets that we have. So it's pledges on inventory, pledges on fixed assets, pledges on receivables, and intellectual property. We are giving these pledges as security to the investor crowd. And since you can only give that security once, we will have to repay the Rabobank loan to be able to completely give this security to the investor crowd. On top of, by the way, a 50% guarantee by the shareholders of E-Tuk. So that is basically the number of questions that I can address in this short presentation here. I would like now to switch over to Maarten, who was able to answer a few questions that were raised by the crowd. Let me just stop sharing my screen here.
Hi, good day, Jeroen, Electro, and of course the people who are watching this nice webinar. I can share that I started it in 2017, so I'm already 7 years part of this nice journey. But of course, we started in 2009 as a university project in Delft, and we brought a petrol vehicle and we turned it around an electrical vehicle. And that path, that journey, was a very nice one. And as Drew mentioned, we are very strong in the Southern Europe community and in the market. And my part was to fulfill the city management and to be very close and to open up all those cities, because city management and safety nowadays, with all the questions that people have regarding safety, is a very strong one. And I think if you look at Madrid and Lisbon, we have in Lisbon 900 vehicles on the road, driving now 30 kilometers an hour due to safety regulations. But we talked that through with the local government. So I think that's a proud thing. So if you want to see our tuk-tuks driving, go to Madrid or Lisbon, because you see a lot of vehicles over there. How many sold in the sense of how strong? We are growing now in Italy with a nice, good network, very professional with service shops. We opened up Greece with a very big EV dealer. And we are now heading for Germany as well, where we participate next week to a fair, but we will come back to that later. So I think if you look at our network, was very good in Europe, very focused on Europe, and we are very excited that we have the milestone now that we go to US and that we are established there. So looking forward to that as well.
Just about the distributors, that's that plays quite a key role in the success of E-Tuk, right?
I think in our business, that's correct. You need local people at the ground, that they understand the local laws in the city. But what very strong was in the past, we were very well connected also with the taxi environment, for example. Of course, that's very strong, but you have to explain yourself what you're doing. And if you add a city tour to your city, it's not competition. It was an add-on to the taxi environment. So you saw people joining the E-Tuk tours, E-Tuk market, and to be very close with that business, what is, I think, very profitable, but also be very close to the local authority, made us very strong in a southern European region. And I think from there we are now also very strong, in our other sections and our other segments. If you look at our new product range, so I think if you look at our connections that we have today, from Greece to Italy to Germany to Spain, Portugal, if you look at the southern part of Europe, I think it has a huge value for our next step in our business.
Yeah, so we're perfectly poised to exploit that distributor network to sell these E-Tuks, and but we also do direct sales, of course, in other countries.
Yeah, of course. First of all, normally, if you look at the limo L5 business, so the passenger business, we always needed 1 year to open up, to be very close with each other, and to also see what the value is of a distributor. That's the reason that we sign distributors, that they have value, but we also have direct sales countries like Croatia, that we are very strong in our direct connections. But in Croatia, for example, we use agents. So they're not distributors, but agents, and they're our sort of ambassador for our company. So we have different types, distributors, but also agents, and our own direct sales, of course.
Okay. All right. I think that sort of covers your bit. Should we try and switch over to a recorded message from the other director of E-Tuk Factory, Bart Hegeman, and then Lercio, you'll be able to share those videos, right?
Can you please tell me who are you?
Yeah, my name is Bart Hegeman, CEO of E-Tuk companies. I work since 2019 for the factory, and since then we have started to transform the company into a last mile mobility service provider. And I work partly in Europe and spend most of my time actually doing it.
But how do you work in your markets?
We actually have a hybrid model. It means like we're working with different business models. In some of the countries we started with agents. Some of them we started with what we call operators, those providing tours to the tourists. And in some larger areas we also started with distributors. We also foresee for the future we continue to work with hybrid models, and we even see subscription models as a stronger tool to remain strong in our markets.
Hi, Bart. I have some questions. Is it realistic to compete with Asian producers of E-Tuks, given their market share and high stakes?
It is possible. We are challenging ourselves all the time with coming to the right price. But very often we are trying to compete on the same parameters. And of course, we don't want to compete when there is subsidies involved or there's unrealistic margins, vehicles, especially from China. But mainly focusing on the complete integrated concept, we see that we can be strong in comparison to other companies.
Hi, Bart. What is E-Tuk's competitive position? How many providers of E-Tuks are there globally?
Let me first rephrase the question, how many specific E-Tuk manufacturers are there? Because there is a lot of different three-wheelers in the world. We are having auto rickshaws in India, we have a different type of electrical three-wheelers from China, and there is the E-Tuk and former tuk-tuks from Thailand. If we're looking into the segments where we are, we can say that in the auto rickshaw segment, where we are not really having a vehicle today, there is millions on the roads, and there is a lot of manufacturers actually required to transform the fleet to electric vehicles. If you look into our E-Tuk segment of tourism, there's only a few players, and so far there is hardly any players who is able to get his homologation, so to say, passed. That's especially in Europe or in the US. And if we're looking on the public sector, there we are facing, of course, different type of competitors. But in the three-wheel segment, which is naturally at a lower price than four-wheelers, we are having quite a strong position. And especially in combination with our cardless payment systems and other integrated systems to track our vehicles and to secure, so to say, that our customers will not immediately go to alternative suppliers.
Okay, so well, that was maybe sometimes a bit hard to understand because of the volume, but I hope you could all get it. Then we'd like to switch over to Lercho. Maybe you can tell us a bit about who you are and what your role is within E-Tuk, and maybe talk a bit about the battery technology of E-Tuk factory and also the smart box, the smart plate that I mentioned.
Okay, hi, my name is Lercho Teixeira. I'm Director of Operations of our EMEA region of E-Tuk factory. We are located here in Portugal, in Santo Tirso, and we have our factory here since 2022, when we began manufacturing the vehicles on Europe, exclusively here on this factory. And what we can say about this battery technology that we use, and how can we use this and our smart plate and technology that are involved on our intellectual property. We have lithium ferrophosphate batteries. So what we have a battery that can provide 7 kilowatts until 20 kilowatts. It's a decision of the user, and we can have a 7 to 10 years lifespan on this battery. So it means that we have around 3,000 cycles minimum. Is some information that we can search this on internet and everyone can see. But our chemistry on the batteries that we use, prismal cells, are giving us this certainty to have more than 10 years. And after that, our batteries also go for the second life that can go for home energy supply systems, or like solar system battery pack also that can be used. So we are not creating new pollution, but we have also a second solution to the market when we have this lithium phosphate, ferrophosphate battery. So this is what we are providing to the market. So our technology of our vehicle, you use our smart box, and our smart box, we have the controller and all communication between the battery and the electric motor inside this, and this warranty to us to manage full information on the vehicle. So we are getting there with our intellectual property, so we can achieve the right range that we have in our vehicle, and we can also deliver this in very good experience when we are touring with these tuk-tuks, that electric tuk-tuks that we do. So we can enjoy that one, and we can have this solution for you.
Yeah, and this smart box, that's something that we develop ourselves, right? So, and it's not just a battery, but it's a battery with a battery management system and a controller and charger, and on top of that, but maybe Praveen will talk a bit about that, the vehicle information system, correct?
Correct. Yes, everything was developed by us. We have a development center in Netherlands, and we have the manufacturing here in Portugal, and we together have developed this system, and this is what we do today for you, for our users that can have these tools.
Okay, well, maybe that's a good bridge to switch over to the videos from Praveen, who will address the last set of questions, and then when he's done, I will wrap up this webinar.
What is your name and function? My name is Praveen Joshi. I'm General Manager for Asia for E-Tuk factory. We are located in Thailand.
Praveen, can you tell me something about the VIS system?
But yes, the VIS system is an integrated tool of IT system and software, where it helps to collect the real-time information from the vehicle and the battery system. So we are able to monitor real-time the parameters of battery in vehicle, which helps us to improve the vehicle performance and also give the real-time information to the fleet owners in case of, for example, in case of a crash or any parameter which is not going well, we can alert the fleet owners so that they can be careful and they can bring it for service or take precautionary actions.
About the system, can it also be used as standalone function for other companies?
Of course, yes. With the right setting and parameters, it can be used as a standalone for different products.
Then on the L2, can you tell something about the L2 Smart-Tuk development?
Yeah, this is an interesting question. From a company perspective, when we realized the limitation or dependency on the tourism market for touristic vehicles, so we decided to further develop the products and enhance the company product offerings. So we started working on L2 Smart-Tuk, which is a last mile delivery solution, mobility solution vehicle. So we developed an integrated mobility solution for last mile delivery with the integration of IT system and vehicle, which can be a good alternative for urban mobility to replace the gasoline and convert urban mobility to a green mobility.
And why is it special in comparison to cargo bikes or bicycles?
If you consider from the driver's perspective, it gives more safety for drivers when they're driving on the roads, and also for the people on the road compared to two-wheelers. And also when considering the rainy season or a hot sun, I think it would be how to say a preferred choice to rather than drive on a two-wheeler exposed than be in a safe cabin in a Smart-Tuk. Okay, but I got one last question. What can you tell me about the last first mile delivery segment?
Well, the last first mile delivery segment is partly based on the new regulation for the inner city, both places in the world, where there are any longer combustion engines allowed, or the reduction of CO2 is a very high priority. We see for our company enormous potentials in securing that last mile. That means for those drivers at the different stops, having cubic meters up to 1.5, 3, having passengers on board, shuttle services, on-demand deliveries, real-time information get from the vehicles. Actually, we have been really focusing on these markets to create our own position to the four-wheelers and the two-wheelers. So that means more like when the sun is shining, you're protected, three-wheeler. When the wind is there, when the rain is there, you're protected in a three-wheeler. And what I think very interesting, even a 16-year-old driving license can actually use Smart-Tuks leaving the road. So it's a very good way in order to bring goods from up to 1.5 cubic meter from places.
I'll share my very last slide because that was the last presentation that we had. The invitation is open for everybody to continue sending in questions through the Invesdor platform, and we will address these, and you'll get answers on your questions through the Invesdor people who manage those questions from the crowd. And of course, if you want to meet us live, you can do that during the Hanover Transportation Fair on 17th to the 22nd November in hall number 22, and we are in booth A33, and happy to answer any specific questions that you may still have. Thank you very much for joining, and we hope to see you soon.